Hey guys, this is Alicia with Finish First, and because it's summertime and because we all like to travel during this time of year, I'm sharing some of my summer travel secrets, especially for driving with low back pain and hip pain. So one of the things that is always with me on a road trip or like a weekend trip out to Austin is my McKinsey roll. So I bring this with me everywhere during the summer, especially on these long drives. And if you haven't seen these in our office, we do have them, so I recommend you stop by and grab one before your summer trip. But all I do with this roll is I'm going to stick it behind me right in my truck in my passenger seat, and I'm good to go for the ride. So I get low back pain relief. By the time we get to Austin, everything's going to feel really good, and then we'll do some stretching when we get there. And it's a good, healthy back for a nice weekend out in Austin. So keep watching. Guys, so once you make it to your destination, after riding in a vehicle, it's nice to kind of loosen up a little bit. So we're just gonna do a quick couple movements to make sure the body's nice and loose. The first one we're gonna go through is neck cars, and a lot of you have seen this before, but if you haven't, you're gonna start by bringing your chin to your chest. And I'm basically gonna do a full rotation of my neck, bringing my chin all the way to one shoulder, letting my neck fall back into extension, all the way to the other shoulder, and all the way back down to my chest, and just go in the opposite direction. We want to do this a couple times after getting out of the vehicle, but also like at rest stops and things like that on your way to your destination as well. So there's usually enough space in hotel rooms that you can figure out a way to stretch. We got really lucky with this room that there's a bunch of space on the floor. So one of the other movements I'm going to take you through today is a bird dog. And so what we're going to do is we're going to start on hands and knees. And I'm going to inhale through my diaphragm, extend opposite leg, opposite arm, as if someone's pulling both limbs from each direction. So I'm making a nice straight line. Come back down to the center. And I'm just going to switch and do the opposite side. The next stretch we're going to do is a lot for the hips, and so we're going to do a couch stretch, and a lot of you have seen this one as well, but just a refresher, I'm going to use the bed, and I'm going to put my foot against the bed, knee flat on the ground, bring my other foot out in front of me, and come into a tall kneeling position, making sure that my foot is in line with my hip and I don't have any shifting going on with the hips, so I don't have my hips all the way to the right and they're not all the way to the left, but they're nice and neutral. This will give me a really nice stretch in my hip to loosen up those hips from sitting in a car. So a good stretch for the hamstrings after sitting in a car or in a vehicle for a long period of time. We're going to do a doorway stretch for the hamstrings. So I'm going to get my leg all the way up into this door frame with a little bit of a bent knee, and I'm going to press into that door frame with my heel and try and pull my heel down towards my glute. And while I'm doing this for about 10 seconds, I'm getting a really good sensation, a good stretch in the belly of that hamstring. After about 10-15 seconds, I'm going to relax. I'm going to lift my foot up off the door and hold this for about 10 to 15 seconds. And when that time is up, and it's time to go back in for another stretch, I'm going to get closer. So I'm going to come inside the door frame a little bit here and do the same thing again. Just repeat. So our last stretch is going to be a pigeon stretch. We're going to do a modified high pigeon stretch on the bed. You're always welcome to do pigeon on the floor, but we're going to do the bed just because it gives it a little bit more range of motion. So I'm going to put my foot up on the end of this bed in a figure 4 position. And what I'm looking for is my back to remain straight throughout the stretch. So I'm driving my right hip into the floor, because this is the hip I'm focusing on, and I'm going to walk my hands forward, keeping my back straight, so I get a nice good stretch in the back of those hips. After sitting in a car for 2-3 hours, this feels really, really good. If you pair this with a lacrosse ball in your hips, it's awesome, and everyone can fit a lacrosse ball in their bag at home, I guarantee it. So I mentioned everyone can fit a lacrosse ball with them. I have a peanut and 2 lacrosse balls that I brought with me for my trip. And so when it comes to working a lacrosse ball in with the pigeon, what you're going to do is put that lacrosse ball right on the floor, sit on it on the right side because that's the side that we are stretching, ankle up on the knee, and we're going to let the lacrosse ball get in there, do some work in between our pigeon stretches on our bed. Last tip I want to leave you with, especially for people that have neck issues, disc issues in the neck, is our cervical roll for pillows. So again, this kind of comes with me everywhere I go. I've got cervical issues as well, and I've got a neck roll at home that I use for my pillow, but when I travel, it comes with us too. So I'll put that roll right in the base of the pillowcase of the hotel pillow, and now what I have is neck support for when I go to sleep at night so that I won't wake up in the morning with neck pain if I didn't have this. So with all these tips for summer travel and a good healthy back, good healthy hips as you go about the summer, we hope that you use these, and if you don't have the tools to kind of have a healthy vacation, please stop by our office and ask us for help. We have it all. We have lacrosse balls, foam rollers. We've got the McKenzie rolls for the back, for the low back, and for the neck. So please don't be a stranger. Come by and ask us for help. But overall, have a healthy and a happy summer.